as that strategic marketing music fades away. Welcome to Cranfield University. It's great to have you with us. My name is Toby Thompson. I'm the studio director here in the glorious Grenville Turner Studios on this amazingly blue sky day here at Cranfield. It's always sunny at Cranfield, especially so. That was a live shot just behind us here. Thank you for taking time out of your busy days. And if you're watching the recording, please, let's carry on the conversation. This is going to be an interactive session, this live session. So we're expecting your questions, your comments, your observations, your challenges, pretty much at any time regarding strategic marketing MSc that we're talking about here. So if that's of interest to you, and we're assuming it is, and you're not in the wrong meeting, then we're going to be talking a lot more about that one. To help me do that, I'm joined in the studio by Tamira King. Tamira, it's fantastic to have you with us. You here, a regular visitor at the studio. Thanks for joining us. We'll come back to you very shortly. We're also joined by two amazing students. We've got Jan and Purva. Jan and Purva, it's fantastic to have you with us. Just wave if you can, just to prove that you're not AI generated. Look at that, look at that.
Hello.
Look at those smiles. It's fantastic to have you with us in the studio as well. And Jan, it's great to have you back because you were here, well, gosh, I don't know when it was, like 6 months ago. So it's fantastic to see you both. This is your chance just to put those two smiling faces up there to ask questions about what's it really like. Tamira may say stuff, but you may not believe Tamira. But you should believe these two guys because they're current students on the course. Let's dive in. But before we do the course overview, let's talk a bit about you. What's your background? How have you ended up here at Cranfield?
Well, firstly, thanks for having me. So I've been at Cranfield about 10 years. I am course director, one of the course directors of the MSc in Strategic Marketing. And I've been in this role on and off for about 10 years. I run it with my lovely colleague, Dr. Sharif Alwi, who unfortunately is not here today. But I've grown from lecturer to senior lecturer here at Cranfield. I teach retail and consumer behaviour. And I also teach on executive programmes related to anything marketing, strategic marketing and value propositions. And my research is in consumer behaviour, naughty consumer behaviour to be precise, which I teach a little bit about on my programme and have some students doing research if they like for their thesis in my area.
And yes, you did hear that right, naughty. This is fraudulent shopping, de-shopping.
Yes.
You call it de-shopping, or is that what it's called generally in the industry?
That's what it's called in the UK, de-shopping. In America, it's sometimes called retail borrowing. So it's about
borrowing.
When consumers buy something, for example, a nice suit for their first interview, wear it for their interview and then return it afterwards. Or they rent a big TV screen for a new football match, watch it with their mates and then take it back.
Fraudulent shopping.
Yeah, we work a lot with retailers and consultancy and trying to help improve returns but actually maintaining good customer service because that's what it's all about.
So when you talk about consumer behaviour, you're getting the data to find out what do people buy, what do they do with what they buy, how do they return stuff?
Yeah, and how do they behave and why do they behave like that? What is it innate in our personalities that makes us think that that's okay? We wouldn't shoplift, but we might borrow a bit even though we know that's naughty.
Gosh.
So we're looking at the psychology about why consumers behave in that way. And we work a lot with companies and try to make practical recommendations and publish in the area that can actually benefit retailers.
Wow. If de-shopping is of interest to you, please put a question in the text chat. Maybe start by putting something in the text chat about where you are in the world. We're always keen to find out where people are that come and study with us. So put something in the text chat saying where you are. It'd be fantastic. And keep those questions coming. Tell us about rankings of the course, because I think there's a pretty good position of Cranfield School of Management in rankings.
We are in an excellent position. I'm really proud to say we're ranked 5th in the UK and 26th in the world on our MSc Strategic Marketing. So we are top tier MSc and really proud to be teaching and running such an excellent programme.
Wow, 5th in the UK. So in terms of Cranfield School of Management's take on things and maybe explaining why that ranking is so high, what's specific about Cranfield School of Management? What's unique about it?
I think our strength is that we work very closely with practitioners and we align the programme with what they indicate they need for graduates coming out of the programme with MScs in marketing. So we have these meetings twice a year with boards, including, for example, people from the Chartered Institute of Marketing, different people in marketing roles from very big companies. And they tell us, for example, we need your students to have data analytics module, which we've, for example, introduced. We also feel students would benefit from internships. So this year is the first year we've introduced them on the programme. So we really reflect on what the industry needs. We're also, because we have an advisory board, we work really closely with practice. We have guest speakers. Because we teach executives on our other programmes at Cranfield, we invite those executives to come and speak to the students. So for example, in one of the other courses I teach, I invited one of my students, who is a creative director at a big advertising agency, to come and speak last week to our students. They can tell you a bit about that. So because we have this relationship with industry, I think our course is so distinctive because they value from that on the course, and there are at least 2 modules where they work alongside companies in the programme.
So in answer to the question, how do you stay up to date on the course? You can't help but stay up to date.
Yeah, because we're working hand in hand with the industry.
Wow. So people get themselves on this course because they'll get bang up to date material information.
Absolutely.
Wow. In terms of world rankings, 22nd as I understand it?
Absolutely, yeah.
So these are the QS rankings?
Yes.
Wow. Can you even begin to do the shape of the course? I know there's tons of material on the website, and you'll have found that already. We're certain that you'll have gone over the website with a fine-tooth comb, but what's roughly it looking like? Is it a series of lectures at the beginning? Is it dissertation, thesis, internships? What's it roughly?
So we operate like a lot of universities in 3 terms. The first 2 terms are predominantly taught modules, and we build up your knowledge so that in the 3rd term, you're doing modules where you're working hand in hand with companies, working on problems that they have, and feeding back your solutions and presenting to companies. And then the very final part of the 3rd term, you'll be working on an independent project which is called, we call a thesis. And also, if you get lucky enough to be selected for an internship, you will be doing your internship in the final term, which is working in a company 4 days a week. And on the 5th day, you'll be working on a project which you've designed with your supervisor in the company, and you'll be working with them for 8 to 12 weeks before your thesis hand-in, which will be in September. Just to run you through the taught modules where we're building up, just a couple of examples. We teach consumer behaviour, sales. I teach CRM, which is relationship management, all about how we collect data on customers, to be close to them, to understand them, to give them offers of marketing that they actually want and need. I also teach retail, we teach branding, we teach marketing communications, and then we move on to the more strategic consultancy project, where, for example, that's in term 3, where we have different companies coming in every year. It's always a nice surprise for the students. Last year we had Heineken coming in.
Nice.
They wanted to focus on a brand called Birra Moretti, which is a premium beer brand, and they asked the students to think of a new position for the brand in the UK. And the students were tasked with a week of creating a design for Birra Moretti.
Wow.
And they had to present it back to Heineken, and they awarded winners. And every year we have a different company coming, so it's a surprise this
So that's
year.
real. That's not pretend.
It's
made
real.
up
It's a
case
real
study.
live project.
Goodness.
Yeah, so that's in the final term before they do their thesis. Also, they had a real life company coming in with their branding module. This year it was a hair care company, and they asked the students about rebranding. I mean, our students can tell you about their experience
wanna
in
hear
doing
about
that. So we start with the taught process, and then we go to the more company focused, working on materials for the actual companies. Then we move to the final thesis, and some students will move on to an internship as well.
It might be impossible for you to say, but could you describe who this course is for? Is it someone who's spent years in the business or someone who's fresh to it?
We've got a range of applicants. Some have got direct marketing degree and direct marketing experience, but some, for example, have got engineering backgrounds, and then they want to get into marketing, and they've got a little bit of experience. So we've got a lot of students with a mix of business backgrounds, engineering backgrounds. Most have work experience within the sector. So the classroom dynamic is really exciting because some people have done CRM, some people have done creative marketing before, some people have already worked in personalised marketing and branding. So it makes for really interesting class discussions because people can draw on their experience.
So can you bring an example with you to the course and then pursue that as a kind of focus? And if you're in a particular area of marketing, can you then say, I want to concentrate just on this? Or you deliberately widen the scope?
We deliberately widen the scope. They have to understand all aspects of marketing. For example, some of the students struggle with a finance module, but if you're going to be a marketing director and responsible for £1 million budgets for your advertising, you have to be able to justify that. Right. So we need to make sure our students have a broad understanding of all the subjects that our practice advisory board are telling us that they need.
That does make sense.
Eventually, you will specialise in something creative or something CRM focused, and you can draw on that with the guest speakers because most of them, if they don't have a marketing background, will tell you about their specialist areas and how they followed that journey. I mean, we've just started to host last year a career day where we've got students and past companies coming in talking about their careers and the career journeys within those companies. Wow. So this year, Heineken, Birra Moretti, who came last year, are coming to speak to our students on this cohort about the career journeys within their company.
Wow. I've got to go to the students. Purva, can I talk to you first? Because that sounds amazing, what Tamira's just said. Give us a bit of information about your background. What did you study at undergraduate and why did you choose Cranfield?
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Purva. I'm from India, Mumbai. So I pursued BCom with my specialization in entrepreneurship and innovation from Flame University, that's in Pune. And later on, I worked for 1 year as a business development executive in Turbonet System. It is an IT infra-based and IT service company. And later on, I joined Cranfield. My interest was majorly in marketing, and I choose Cranfield because it is a very practical oriented course. It's not just about theory. In every course module, we are working on real time projects, real companies. So yeah, that's the main reason why I chose Cranfield.
Well, I want to come back to some of those points earlier on that you mentioned. Yang, can I come to you? Because I want to find out a little bit more about your background. You've joined us before in the studio. Say a bit more from where you're from.
Hi everyone, I'm Yanfen. I'm from China, and I'm glad to be here again. So my background is I graduated from. So my background is business English, but I've been work for 5 years in China, and my work is mainly for GTM, which is product marketing.
And can you tell us a little bit, Jan, about that first series of lectures, that first term? Is that quite a shock for you? What's a typical day look like?
It's quite shock for me. It is because I used to have business trip to Europe or British also, but it's the first time that I stay here for such a long time, and also it's a fresh for me. And we have strategic marketing planning and also consumer behavior. These two important course at the first term, and I'm quite nervous at the beginning because I'm very afraid that I can't understand what teacher's talking, and also some examples. But everything just so far so good, I have to say, because our teacher at the beginning, they are not just give us very academic thing. They will give us more example. I remember very clearly. I even count, like when I watch the recording of strategic marketing planning that our professor Vasilia, he even mentioned 50 examples, like 50 different companies, because I take a note. So it's very, how to say, very easy for me to engage with the class with this example. And also for consumer behavior, our Professor Dennis, because he's has a company in Germany, which is marketing consultancy. So he will also bring us very vivid, which real life example for us to discuss, to inspire our thoughts and any or any related to our background. So it's very nice. Our professor, they really like care about our feedback during the class.
That sounds
So,
amazing. It sounds so very practical as well.
Yeah, it
Tamira,
is.
can I come back to you before we go back to Purva talking about the classes? I'm assuming the students can learn as much from each other, coming from as many different backgrounds as they can from you.
Absolutely. As you can hear with Yang and Purva, they've
Amazing.
got different backgrounds, they're from different companies, different cultural perspectives on things and businesses in their countries. So yeah, sharing, interacting in class, the dialogue between the students, the relationships they have is such an amazing part and an important part of their journey here at Cranfield. And from the beginning, we have them in mixed learning teams. So they work together, they're encouraged to work together, they're encouraged to contribute. And we have small classes. So even if we've got large numbers of students, we split them up into small classes. So they're still working in learning teams, and they work very closely with the practitioners. You can, with the academics. You can see she's naming them both by their first names because she's spent terms interacting with them, asking them questions, standing up in front of them and speaking. So we have a really close relationship with our students. So there's no barriers there, and that really helps with their learning.
Wow, so you can be contacted pretty much any time, you and all the academics.
Absolutely, that's what we're here for.
Purva, can I ask you to describe your cohort? What are the rest of your students on your cohort like?
So my whole cohort, they are very friendly. most of them are experienced. And as Tamira also mentioned, that we have a mixed learning teams group. So within, I think, first or second week, we've allocated our learning teams, and our learning teams is a mix of everyone, different nationalities, different industry backgrounds. So it's a lot more cohort learning, I would say. And as I said, I'm a fresher. I just had 1 year of experience, and Summer is one of my learning teammate. So there's a lot more to learn. I learned a lot of things from Summer as well, a lot of presentation skills that I lacked. So there's a lot of learning that I've learned through my learning teams and through my cohort. Yeah.
Thank you. And Tamira, in terms of support, students may be thinking of coming on this course. We hope that you are. But I'm not sure about English necessarily, or some support from tutors. What's the support like here on the course?
Well, they have to have certain language requirements for their English before they come. You can check that all on the website. I think the support comes from them working within close proximity of the academics. So like I said, it's a small classroom environment. They're working in teams, so they support each other. Their module leaders are always available to them because they're in class with them. And someone like me or Dr. Sharifa, who's teaching, I teach them in the first term and the second term, and so does Sharifa. So they've got access to us, and every time there's a study tour or a speaker that we're arranging, we're there on campus with them. And I think we've got an open door policy, really, so they know that they can buzz us on Teams, come to our office, ask for a meeting. You know, we're very accessible to the students, and we pride ourselves on being open and available for them all the time.
I've got to ask a tricky question. This is about assessment. How do you assess students on this course? Are there exams?
Actually, there's no exams on this programme. There used to be, but we don't have the exams anymore. It's assignments, and they range from presentations, individual pieces of work, group assessments together. On my module, they do an individual piece, they do a group presentation, which is non-assessed, just to give them feedback and just to give them practice. And basically it's all different, but basically they do group work, they do individual presentations, individual pieces of work of various lengths. So my assessment's 2,500 words, but for their final thesis, it will be anywhere between 10,000 and 15,000 words. So that's a really big chunk of their MSc marketing, but it's running over the whole third term, which is the 3 months of the summer. Right. And some of them will be basing that on a company where they're working, so that they have a lot of support for data collection, research, analysis from the companies, and they'll have an individual tutor. Every student has an individual tutor for their thesis to work alongside them in the third term.
So you're not on your own, you've always got someone to go back to.
No, they're never on their own.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and can you tell us a bit more about that assessment? What's it like writing assignments? Are you on your own doing that? Are you in the library? Say more.
Well, I prefer to stay at my accommodation, yeah. And for the assessment, just as Dr. Tamira just mentioned, we have different ways to access, like presentation, and I really like this way to access ours because it practice different aspects of myself. So first, just as Pua said, we are the same team. Because she called me Summer, yeah, that's my, you can also call me Summer. So we are in a team. So it helps me to build to communicate with my team member, because as we just talked about, we have different background and we have different experience. So when we're doing the presentation, before we prepare for it, we will arrange different meeting. Maybe sometimes we're at the library, sometimes we will at our shared kitchen, we will talk. And the way that we communicate is also a way we know each other, and also we inspire our different ideas about this project. So, and also, I think Dr. Tamira also, when we're doing the presentation, she also said you can choose online or offline. So to practice our, to let us experience different way to present and how we're gonna present it. And also she gives us a lot of our feedback during our presentation, and also after we send our slides to her, she also gives us the feedback. And for
yeah, that's very supportive. That's very supportive.
It's very supportive for us.
Can I just check? So some people on this call may be thinking, I've not done too many presentations before. Don't worry, I guess, is your advice.
Yeah, because the presentation on my module is not assessed. It used to be, but I decided to not assess it, but to keep the students doing it because it was very valuable. And then I like to give them the choice of presenting online or presenting in the classroom. And actually, I think we had about half this year, some I couldn't verify, because some students, when they get their job, they will be asked to present online. So I wanted to give them the opportunity to practice giving a presentation online and thinking about how to brand themselves online and present themselves online and how to make it engaging in that environment as well as in a classroom environment. So I left it up to them to choose. And half the class remained in the classroom after we watched everyone physically present. And I put the other half who wanted to present online in another lecture room. They joined us by Zoom and they presented together in little groups and we watched them in the other room and we gave everyone feedback. But that's the best way to learn, without fear, with the ability to actually try different things, being brave about it, so that when they do present to a company, be it online or face-to-face, they've got the confidence to do it.
And got the experience. Fantastic set of skills. Purva, can I come back to you? We talked about group work. Some people also on this call may not be familiar with that sort of group work. How does that work? Is it difficult? Do you get to choose your groups?
So no, we don't get to choose our own learning team. So it is made by the SAS team and you will get to know within a week or two. But it is very fun that you are being a part of a learning team where you are a part of a group of from different nationalities, different age groups, different industry backgrounds. So that's actually fun. And it's easy, to be honest, because you get to learn so much. You get to work on different ideas, you sit together and you end up being friends with everyone, because almost for every module we have to sit with our learning teams and we have to discuss. So even if for our finance assignment, our lecturer, after every lecture, he used to make us sit in the learning teams and make us used to solve few sums, few problems. So in that way, you build friendship, and it's fun to be a part of a learning team made by the SAS and the course directors. Yeah.
And lifetime friendships. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get chronologically. So after the first couple of terms, was it the group project thereafter? What comes after that? After the lectures?
After the talk projects, the very last module is the consultancy project.
Well, the consultant. So say more about that if you can.
So that's when we have a company coming in, different company every year. It's a surprise for the students and they present them with a problem, a live problem, and they have a week to find a solution, and then the company comes back. After a week, the students present in their teams to the company and the company help us assess them with an academic member of staff.
1 week doesn't sound very long.
No, but that's the whole point, that it's time driven, and they have a week to do the research, whereas all the other modules they have at least 3 weeks after the module started to work on the assignment. But this is reflective of what happens in the industry. You're given a brief and you're asked to present a solution. So they become to work more independently at that stage, and then after that they have the opportunity to do a thesis. There are 3 different types of thesis. There's a conventional thesis, which is the standard research project with research questions where you collect data and present solutions. There's a project which is aligned with a company. So for example, company I work with, for example, that comes to speak in the retail module called Boodles. They're a luxury retailer, a British retailer.
Jewellery, isn't it?
Jewellery, yeah, very, very expensive jewellery, beautiful. They've only got 9 stores in the UK. They were thinking about expanding internationally. So last year they had a company project with a student about researching their brand, looking at their marketing. And we posted that on different platforms where different international audiences answered questions on whether they felt Boodles would be a good fit, whether they liked their marketing, how they liked their packaging. So that was a company-sponsored project. So they paid for the questionnaire to be on the platform. They gave the student interviews before about the companies they were interested in. They gave the students information about where their web traffic was coming from so they could see where potentially sales were going internationally. So there's a lot of company support. That's one type of project. And the last type of project is the new thing, which is the internship, which is where they will have the opportunity to work with a company and they'll be selected, they'll go for an interview process, they'll be selected by the company and an academic to go into that job. They'll work with the company 4 days a week, and on the 5th day, they will work on a project designed with the company. Obviously, it will be a problem based around the company, and during their working hours I would have thought they'll be doing data collection for that project. There are 3 different marking schemes for those 3 different types of thesis, so we're not asking them to fit around box in a square hole. We're actually accommodating and trying to work with the different ways that students might be asked to work in the future.
Wow.
So that's the third term.
So the guys will have done that already?
No, they are in the process of selecting their thesis. So you've just done a branding module where they have, as a warm-up, worked with the company, Fabric Hair, and they will soon be doing the consultancy project and selected for their thesis. I mean, you could talk students a bit about the Fabric project you've done for branding, and maybe, I know, Purva, you've just been a part of the selection process for an internship. So maybe, Summer, you want to talk about Fabric Hair Care in that module, and Purva, you can tell us a bit about the selection process for the internship.
Yeah, Purva, go ahead.
So yeah, I've been selected for the internship at Christian Joe. It's a coffee brand located in Bedford, near to Cranfield. So yeah, talking about the selection process, I think it's very easy, and we have a lot of support from Dr. Tamira and Dr. Sharifa. They made the process very simple for us, to be honest. And yeah, from since the time we came here, we were told, we had lectures on how to make our CVs, how to make our cover letters, how to pitch, how to give interviews. So that actually helped us, honestly. And yeah, so for the selection process, you need to have your average score above 70, 75. On base of that, then you will get selected. After that, you need to upload your CVs and your cover letters, your application letters, and then you have a interview round. Interview round was also very simple, and it was not that complicated. Yeah, that's it.
Wow. And Jan, tell us about your experience.
I will start from the conventional thesis, and I have another plan is that in our School of Management, I've known my friends, she's doing PhD, and she invited me that whether we can collaborate with the thesis. So it's kind of new experience. So we are trying to figure that out, whether we can cooperate with the thesis, because she's direction is leadership of entrepreneurship and leadership. So we might trying to cooperate.
That sounds exciting, a little bit
Yeah,
intimidating as well by the sound of it. Let's hold that thought. There's a question to me, and this is from Prajwal. Prajwal, thank you very much indeed for your questions. And if you've not had a chance to ask a question on the text chat in Zoom, please put a question or a challenge. Prajwal's asking, most of the curriculum that he's been taught before on our bachelor's degree for marketing was quite theoretical, and less exposure towards the financial side of things. Would this course be suitable for Prajwal? So how deep do you dive with the finances?
Yeah, absolutely. Having taught, just to say, on undergraduate programs for 10 years before I was at Cranfield, this is a perfect step up. So although you might have done like the 7 Ps and pests and SWOT, this is much more strategic. So it takes you to the next level in terms of academic depth and practitioner focused work, and how to get yourself to the next level, not just for the interview, but for your future career. In terms of finances, we, for example, in my old university would have taught accounting for a small business, for example, on an undergraduate business and marketing BSc, but for now you would do more finance. So it'd be more geared towards justifying your business strategy, your finances at a more board level focus. I don't know if either of the students want to talk about that.
Yeah, Prajwal, well, how was the finance module for you?
For me?
Yeah. Tell us more about the finance.
Sorry, I thought you called Afua. Yes, we do have accounting and finance course, and I think it's very good. So at the beginning, I also have some confused, like why we still have accounting. Oh my God, I hate math. But after we learn about that, I think it's very useful for us, because now what we think is about data, right? Then data might be include some consumers' behavior, their data, but data is also about money. And what our final purpose is make money. So from accounting and finance, this course, we learn about how to analyze a company's, their financial situation. And all those information give us the feedback of the company's current situation, like what they have done, how's the feedback, like how's the results of all these actions, shall we change, shall we adjust? So based on this information which has already happened, give us more resource and information to help us to create a more strategic plan for them. And also it also connects to the budget. Like if we have less budget, then we have to make sure the plan cannot cost that a lot. And also we do have so our assignment for financial and account is to analyze the supermarket Lidl or Aldi, I think one of it, and give the strategic planning for them. So we analyze their ratios, which very related to the people who ask this question related to their background. So it's about analyze their performance, and then based on their performance, we give advice. So after that, every time I go to Lidl or Aldi, I will think about, the ratio, their performance, how did they change, like what kind of strategies they have now, and it reminds me a lot. So I will never forget that.
That's
So
a
I think-
fantastic experience.
Yeah, it is.
Purva, can I come to you? Because does Prajwal, who asked that question, does he need to worry? Does he need to prepare on the finance and accounting module, or is it straightforward?
Yeah, so even as Jan said, even I hated maths a lot. Even I was scared of numbers. But to be honest, the course starts from very basics. So you'll be taught the definition of what is asset, what is liabilities, you know, how to read the balance sheet, how to identify it. So it's very easy, I would say. It's very easy going. The professors are very nice. They will clear all your doubts, and you'll also be given pre-reading things. So you don't need to worry much about it. The professors will take care, and we do have self-sourced videos as well that the professor would encourage us to watch. So yeah.
Don't worry, I guess. Prajwal, if you're still with us, hopefully you are, don't worry.
Yeah.
You're looked after, and that's from the, so we say here, the horse's mouth. There's a question, Tamira, this is from Elena. Elena, thank you for your question, and keep those questions coming. Elena's currently doing a bachelor's in business and economics, and is talking about case studies. Do you do failure case studies? What not to do? Based on this case, this is what you don't do. And how are cases integrated into the rest of the program?
Yeah, that is a really good, excellent question. So absolutely we do. So I've just taught the students a couple of months ago in retail, and we did 2 cases, 2 success cases and 2 challenging cases, where we look at what companies do to improve. Yeah, it's really important to be reflective on companies that could have done better, that did something that could have been handled better, that would have changed outcomes for them. So yes, it's really important to look at failure as well as success, because that's how companies learn, and that's how you'll learn as students, by assessing and strategizing about cases.
So Elena's following on saying, are the case studies used to explain what to do and what not to do? Or are you expecting the students to draw their own conclusions from that?
I ask students to do analysis of cases, and I tend to pose questions about, for example, this CEO came in, and what did they do? What were the challenges that they faced? How do you feel they handled it? So before students are given reading, because the cases might be, for example, Harvard Business Review cases, I'd give them set questions. And in many instances, I will ask the students to present. For example, Group Learning Team 1 would present the answers to questions 1 to 2. Learning Team 2 would present the answers 3 to 4. So they'll spend a lot of time analysing their questions and their solutions and presenting them back to the class. The reason I've divided the questions up is so they focus on the questions, but not the pressure of answering all 10 questions about the company. But they also learn from the other students, and they share their learning, and they break that case study up into pieces, and they share the analysis.
Elena, hopefully
Hope that answers
that
your
answers
question.
your question. Please come back if you have any follow-ons. Purva, what advice can you give to Elena in terms of case studies? How much time do you prepare? If Tamira sets a case, do you spend hours and hours and hours reading the background?
No, so Dr. Tamira, she always uploads the case studies prior, so we have to read and come back. And as she said, there's no pressure. She always makes sure that we are in a learning team, and we are learning together, and we are presenting. So in every class, every lecture, Dr. Tamira would focus on the case studies and the learning, the outcomes out of it. So yeah, you don't need to worry much about it, and you don't have to spend hours and hours reading it. They're small case studies. Yeah,
That's
it's
good to
fun.
hear. That's fun.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
the word. It's fun. It's fun.
It's fun.
Thank you. There's a question here, and I think it's from Prajwal. Oh no, Elena. Is it Elena or Prajwal? Sorry, it's Prajwal. About internships.
Yes.
Do we need to worry about that? How do we organize it? Do you organize everything? You say it's competition that's quite tight.
At the moment, because we've launched it this year for the first time, so we're learning this year, and we'll be able to change and adapt and grow it next year. This year we started with a sample of 10 companies. Some companies wanted 2 students, so we selected students to put them forward for the internships. However, if students selected and found their own internships, we are more than happy to help them take the process forward. So if, for example, you've got your own contacts in, I don't know, Barclays, where you work currently, which is a bank, and you in their marketing team, and you say they'd be happy for me to do an internship, we're happy to sign the legal agreements with them, support you, give you a tutor, work out how to make it happen for you. But at the moment, we've got selected companies. We select the students. We asked the students this year to look at the 10 companies that we had, for example, and rank them in order of their preference. Every company was allowed to interview 2 students and select 1, or if they wanted 2 students, they would interview 4. And we allocated the students to the companies where their selection was highest. So hopefully people will get positions in the top 2 or 3 companies that they chose. However, in some instances, for example, a student got selected already for a job and they were a candidate for another job. You know, it's a competitive world for them and for the companies. So we would withdraw students and add other students to the process. We also had companies that we invited to come and speak to the students. So the students got to know in detail about that charity or that company. So it encouraged them to apply for it, whether they knew that placement would be for them. And I have had in the past, and once this year, companies coming onto campus where they have engaged with the students and they've told me specifically that they would be interested in having that student for an interview.
Wow.
And this year, as well as in the previous year, some students that have been selected have been directly driven from their interaction in the classroom with the company.
That's good. Pay attention in
Yeah.
that case. Is the internship an additional cost to students coming on this course? Is it all covered?
No, it's all part of the programme.
And how will it work? I guess it's the first time we're running it here, but is it hybrid? Is it in place when the employer is?
So it's totally up to the companies whether they want a student sat in their office 4 days a week. But most of the companies this year have chosen a hybrid approach. The bigger companies, I think, will have students on campus a couple of days. The smaller companies have asked for a hybrid approach. That doesn't mean you won't meet the companies. They're happy to come to campus to meet with you. They're happy for you to go to the premises. One of the students, the internships don't start till the end of May. We did the interviews this week, was it end of last week for the students. One of the companies already said before the start date, they would like the students to go with an exhibition, a marketing exhibition with the companies at Excel in London. Wow. We're going to make that happen. The students doesn't know about this yet, but we're going to make that happen. And even though it's before the start date, you know, the student can go as a volunteer for the day to be engaged in that process. So it's very individual how the companies want to work with the students, and we respect and support whatever they decide.
And Jan, how was that interview process? Presuming you've been through that. What was it like?
No.
Oh, actually, I didn't get the interview
Oh.
chance because my classmates, they are so good.
Oh gosh, so
But
the
it's-
competition is really quite stiff.
Yeah, it's quite, but we still have some opportunities. So after the interview, some students they might think they might have another opportunity, or they want to choose another one. So this opportunity are empty will leave to us who didn't have the first time for the interview. And now we already received the email that there are 3 another position that can for other people can apply for it. So I might try that.
So you're not worried about that?
Yeah.
You're good. And Pervin, how did that go? Did it work for you?
Yeah, so I did get an internship at Christian Joe. It's a coffee brand. So my advice to Prajwal would be that once you come here, just focus on your assignments, on your grades, so that you're able to crack the first round. And later on, there's a lot of support that you get from Dr. Sharifa Tamira and your other professors as well. And the career service team, I would recommend be in touch with them on how to make your CVs, how to pitch yourself, how to crack the interview rounds, how to make your cover letters, your application letters. So that would help you crack internships. So you don't need to worry much about it. You will get it. And even if you're not able to get the internship in first round, there are a lot of opportunities that our course directors are getting. As Yanfin said, that there is more 3 opportunities waiting, and I think there will be more coming up. So yeah, there are a lot of opportunities here, so you don't need to worry about it. Yeah.
And Purva, you mentioned career service there. I
Yeah.
presume that's not left until the end of the course. You engage with the career service from the start?
Yeah. So even before you come here, you can connect to the careers team on LinkedIn, on Microsoft Teams, and they are ready to help you. They will, even before coming here, I remember I was in touch with Ellie. She is one of the career team members, and she guided me on how to make my CV, how different the CV looks like in the Indian format and the UK format. So they also prepare you for the elevator pitch. So the career service team is really effective, and if you be in touch with them, you can have meetings with them almost every day. You can sit out with them. You can get a book or 20-minute slot with them, either online, offline, depending on your preference. And yeah, you're done. You're prepared for the interview rounds. Yeah.
Thank you. There's a question, Tamira, for you. This is from Chu. To you, thank you for your question. I'd like to know, for the September course, can you give us a sneak peek of which brands are we partnering with the marketing program? You're working on that right now, I'm assuming.
We are, but I'm afraid a sneak peek is
You
not
can't
possible because I
tell.
can't tell you.
Oh, okay.
I can't, but maybe because the girls haven't talked to you about what they did this year with the hair care company in the branding module. That
Yeah.
might be interesting to talk about.
Let's hear about that. Who wants to talk about that?
Yeah, for the haircut company, I think it's really nice that from the course beginning, we already know that we're gonna cooperate with them and also help them with to figure out the new strategic plan for them. And at the beginning of the course, we also our professor also invite the CEO of that company to come here to introduce their company, their problem, and after that we have the course, and also we learn the knowledge. And in the end, when we have the assessment of this course, which is brand management, it's totally for the presentation. So this presentation is for grade, and at that day we have 6 groups, and each group will present like around 20 minutes and leave 5 to 10 minutes for the CEO. And also there are 2 marketing people from the company come here and guide us and give us feedback of our presentation. So it's very, I have to say, it's very connected to the industry and also connected to like from the knowledge that we acquire from the class, and also to the real life company running, that we can have more connection and communicate with them to practice what we learn.
It's an amazing network that the students build as a
Yeah.
result of this course. It's astonishing. I know Tammy, if you're on the chat, can put some information in the chat about scholarships or funding, but is there any top high-level stuff that you can say about how to pay to come on this course?
I think there's different funding depending on which regions of the world you're from. I suggest that Tammy answers that actually on
That's fine.
the chat. I just had a thought though about case studies. Although I can't tell you about the live case studies who are coming in, I can tell you, for example, what the students did last year, which we might repeat this year. For retail, we did case studies on ASOS. So they're the largest pure online retailer in Europe. So I think we'll be repeating that. They also looked at Burberry's and their internationalization strategy. So that's again a British retailer. So we try and look at international as well as regional retailers. So there'll be cases that I've used in the past that I'll be repeating that I thought were particularly successful. I don't know, students, if there's any other cases that you've really enjoyed you want to talk about?
Purva, anything springs to mind? What have you enjoyed studying?
The case study?
Yeah.
Well, just as Dr. Tamira mentioned, and also the people who asked the question about the field case study. I feel very impressed of that one. So because it's, you know, some negative things, it's gonna be very shock to our thought. So I remember that clearly. So one time we discussed a luxury brand of how they done some bad things. It's about cultural difference. So they have done some bad things in one country, which disobey this country's beliefs or something. And I was very impressed by that one because it's real world examples, and people might still remember that things, and the effect still continue to influence the people in that country. So we discuss about that, and we search the information, and we also, because all our cohort, we have different background and experience. So we Dr. Tamira will ask us to express our opinion and how our think as we, like, from the country, like, because I'm one of the people from that country which they market, and other my classmates, they from different country, how they think about that, and how we what kind of measures or improvement that we think we can do for this. So it's very impressive for me. I think in the future I'm not gonna forget that.
That's good to hear. Yeah.
I've just got another something to contribute, is that two companies that we work with, that we'll be working with again next year, that we do study tours with, that we haven't mentioned. So we went to Cadbury's World, and you did an assessment on Cadbury's. You looked at their international branding. That's something we will be repeating next year, and we do that in term 1. Actually, we do it in the first week, don't we, to get you to bond, and we align it with the first
Do you get
module.
to eat some chocolate?
Oh, yes, girls, you did eat lots of chocolate, didn't you? Yeah, I think it was 2 bars each on the way in.
Nice.
And you also help make chocolate, don't you?
Oh, wow.
And yeah, students help make chocolate in one of the labs
That's
there.
not studying, that's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
It is.
And the other study tour that we only did last week, which is really important to mention, is I Teach CRM. They also have a sales module, and we went to one of the largest companies in the world in terms of CRM, which was Salesforce.
Wow.
So we went to Salesforce last week, which was in Liverpool Street. We were in a tower right next to the Gherkin, which is a large skyscraper in London. We were overlooking the Thames, weren't we, girls? They gave us a lecture from 4 different senior people in the marketing department about CRM, about how Salesforce works. And then the students had the opportunity to have a coffee and sit down and talk one-to-one with these really senior marketing executives at Salesforce. So there's examples of case studies which we will hopefully be repeating next year. And we also went to an Italian restaurant and market business here called Eataly, and we were taken around by the senior operations director, who is an alumni of Cranfield. So he took us around, told us about the business, his dreams for the future for the business, and how they're growing, how they're just opening a store in New York and in America and Canada. So these are definitely what you would, maybe not traditional case studies, so I'm answering the question in a different way, but just to mention there are big companies and exciting things that we do aligned with the modules that we'll try to be repeating next year. I'm sure it'll be Cadbury's and Salesforce
I
again.
detected a food and drink orientation there, but maybe not. And Chiyu, you asked about Heineken. You did mention Heineken. She wasn't sure. Heineken, so yes. But there isn't a food and drink, nor is there a luxury theme. It's a general, isn't it?
It's a general theme. In retail, like I mentioned, we talked about Burberry's, we talked about pure online players. I guess Salesforce is a global company for CRM. Eataly is, he originally, the guy that was an alumni there, was store operations director at Tesco. So he used to come and arrange talks for us when he was at Tesco. So there's a huge international focus, which I feel is really important.
Chiyu is super curious, and Chiyu, we're glad that you're super curious because we were very keen to see you. Purva, can I ask you about accommodation? How easy was it to arrange accommodation, assuming that you're living on campus?
Yes, so I do live on campus, and I have a shared housing. So I am sharing my house with 4 of my flatmates. So yeah, it's very easy to book your accommodation, to be honest. Once you are done, I think you can start booking your accommodation from February, March, and you need to give your, there's a EVE portal, so you can put your priorities on that, whichever housing, whichever size of housing you want, and it's very clear on the site as well, Cranfield website, accommodation site, about the per day rent, about it, and what our facilities do we have on the accommodation. So yeah, it's very easy to book your accommodation, and I would suggest everyone that try to book your accommodation as early as possible, so that you get your preference according to your preferences. Yeah.
And Jan, are you living on campus as well?
Yes, I live in campus.
And what's it like cooking with all your friends? That must be good fun.
Yeah, I really like cooking, and almost every week I will invite my friends or my flatmate come to my shared kitchen and we cook together. Because, for example, in my flat, we have people from different countries. So some of them from Nigeria, Italy, and Malta, and also India. So we have different background, and most of them we always cook. So during the kitchen, yeah, when we're in the kitchen, we just share our food, and sometimes we will organize some dinner together. So it's very nice, and
That
I
sounds-
strongly suggest that it's better to live in campus, because you will know people, and also it's very close to, like, for example, CSA. We can have some party there. Every Friday night we will have different theme and topic, and almost most of people who like networking will be there. So it's a very nice place. You can knowing people in the campus. They from different course and background. You can make friends there, and also CSA is just in campus, so it's also a safe place that you can go there, have fun, and then back to your accommodation.
So Purva, Jan mentioned CSA, Cranfield Student Association, in case you were wondering. Purva, what do you do when you're not studying here on campus?
Okay, so when I'm not studying, I'm at CSA.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, when I'm
I think,
yeah.
Pua, you can talk about your
Yeah.
society that
Yeah.
you joined.
Yeah,
right?
so
Yes.
say more.
Yeah, so I'm a marketing lead at TEDx at Cranfield. So I'm leading the social media pages for the Cranfield, and I'm also looking after the marketing activities. So
Wow.
last week we had a TEDx talk.
Our first.
The TEDx event,
Yeah.
the first TEDx event of this year. So yeah, I'm doing that. I'm also a part of consulting club. Yeah, so it's very fun to be a part of consulting club, to be honest. There's a lot of learnings. Most of the members in the consulting club are from School of Management, from the management courses, MBA courses, and we have a lot of case studies and guest lectures over there as well. And recently we also started with one of my course member. We also started Marketing Society. Cranfield Marketing Society, so we have fun activities aligned for the students as well. Yeah, and as I
Gosh.
said, that I'm also always, most of the times, every Friday you'll spot me in CSA partying there.
So you're studying marketing, you're in the consultancy club, and you're the
Yeah.
marketeer for TEDx.
Yes.
That's
And I'm
not
also, yeah, sorry to interrupt.
No, that's not exactly relaxation by the sound of it.
Yeah, and I'm also the associate marketing lead for CSA, the Cranfield Student Associate page. So whatever reels and whatever the party reels that you see on the page, yeah, we are making those reels as well. Yeah.
So Tamira, you're not driving people into the ground. There is time outside of study to do other things.
There's plenty, and I was just thinking, and Summer is the social media rep for the course. So if
Wow.
you follow us on Instagram, which is Cranfield Marketers, you'll see lovely posts that Summer makes as well. So
Yeah.
they really contribute in a big way to the university because they enjoy it and they're having a great time.
Wow. Someone's asked already, are there 1 or 2 intakes a year? I'm assuming it's 1 in September.
There's one intake at the moment.
Right. And what are the deadlines? Have you got that in your head in terms of deadlines for applications, or is it all on the website? And probably is on the website.
I'm thinking about saying June, but I think you should check on the website for the exact deadline because I'd hate to say it wrong. So please check online.
What should people be doing that are thinking? You'll be thinking of coming on this course. What should people be doing right now? Is it searching for certificates, exam certificates? What's the next thing?
If you're thinking about applying, stop thinking. Just apply. Get it on paper. Send it in. You can do all the thinking about everything afterwards. Yes, you'll have to get your undergraduate certificates together and your transcripts and your IELTS scores, and as well as your personal statements about why you want to do the programme. But I would say there's nothing to think about. It's a great programme. We've got wonderful academics to support you. We've got wonderful alumni. They'll even come back in the first week to tell you about what to do, where to join up, how to settle in. We've also got alumni coming back into the Career Day and event to talk through us about, for example, small businesses that they've set up since they've left the programme. So yeah, just get everything together, write as best as a personal statement as you can, and we'll be reviewing it at the other side. And you know what we're about here? We're passionate about teaching, we're passionate about marketing and giving people opportunity and helping take their career forward. So just apply and let's help you.
Wow.
That's it.
And Tammy, thank you. You put the application deadline 14th of July. You've seen it here first.
July.
So it sounds like, I heard you say that there's no preparation. You haven't got to do anything. You haven't got to read
No.
anything. There's nothing. Just come with an open mind.
No,
I
we
guess.
want people have got different, like we said, people have got different experiences, and they're also coming from different cultures and backgrounds and countries, and they've also got different undergraduate degrees, so they're all coming with a different background. So we need them to start at a level playing field. We'll start with some basic marketing, make sure they're all in the same place, and lift them up to the strategy together very quickly, and they'll learn from each other as they go along in the classroom.
Wow. Why wouldn't you want to come here? You need to get yourselves here. Last few minutes, Purva, if you can say a little bit of advice for people that are thinking of coming, what would you advise people that are thinking of applying?
Yeah, so just as Dr. Tamia said, just don't think, just hit the apply button. Yeah, and there are no prerequisites, to be honest, so don't worry much about it. Whatever undergrad degree you have, whether it's an arts, commerce, science, engineering background, it's okay. Over here, in each module, you get to learn from basics, as I said. So don't worry much about it. There are your course directors, your course module leaders, everyone is going to help you out. At this moment, I would say just focus on your application, get your IELTS score done, write your own personal statement, make your CV strong, and sort out your funding process and work on your IELTS score. I think that's it, you know, or just get your letter of recommendations from your universities or from your workplace. So I think get your documentation sorted at this moment and just apply. Yeah.
So Jan, if you had your time again, is there any advice that you would give, or would you agree with what Purva's just said?
Well, I would like to say, even though you are not prepared all the document that you need, just apply for it, because we will help you. I'm also the student ambassador of Cranfield, so from the website you can also find out that there's a live chat on the corner, so you can click that and find me here. So if you have any questions, just drop a message to me. We will help you with any question that you have, whether the documentation, the information, accommodation, anything that you would like to ask, we will be there for you.
That's a fantastic offer. I'm presuming they can contact you as well.
Absolutely.
Any query.
Yeah.
There's a last question from Prathaban. Average age of students, how would you say that? What would you say that is? Late 20s?
Definitely late 20s,
Right.
yeah. There's such a range. Girls, what do you think the average age is on your current cohort?
Well, I think it is very diversified.
Yeah.
So some of them, they just graduate from university, and some of them, like me, I've been working for like 5 to 8 years. And also we have some students, they've already, there's no discrimination, they've already been 40s.
Yeah.
So even though they've been working or they have their own business for many years, but they still come here and we share our experience, our thoughts together. So you will find every different things with different people, and we share and communicate. It's
Don't
gonna
worry
surprise
about
you. Yeah,
don't worry about
worry.
the age.
Yeah, I was going to
Don't
say one
worry
of the
about it.
students is a dad with 2 young children come
Yeah.
from another country, so,
So yeah, and there's someone here, 2 people at least in here, they're 18 and 11 and 20 years experience.
absolutely amazing.
You would say yes, absolutely.
Yes.
That's a yes.
We would say come, yes.
Why
join
would you
us.
be surprised that we wouldn't say yes? So please get your applications in. Doesn't really matter. You're going to learn a lot, and we're going to learn from you as well.
Absolutely.
We have pretty much run out of time. I guess the message is stay in touch, get in touch. And if you've gotten this far in the recording, congratulations. Carry on that conversation with Tamira and with the students. Purva, it's been fantastic having you with us. Thank you for joining us. And Jan, thank you very much indeed.
Thank
The
you.
best of luck with the remainder of your course. It's going to be really exciting. So thank you for joining us. It's been brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing
Thank
the-
you for
the
having
deep
us all
dive.
and inviting us to the studio. We've had a
brilliant.
great time, haven't we, girls?
It's been good fun.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to see you. We can't wait to see you here at Cranfield University in September. The producers today was Tammy Archam-Peters. The studio managers were Marco Gomez, Robin Hackett and Chris Ripley. My name is Toby Thompson. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.